Caffeine is a substance that is found in a variety of different food and beverages throughout the world. Whether it be in coffee, tea, soft drinks, energy drinks, or even chocolate, caffeine is nearly everywhere. As a common staple in diets across the globe, many individuals rely on caffeine to provide them with the energy to make it through the day. And in some societies, caffeine is even seen as a necessity. According to healthresearchfunding.org, 54% of Americans ages 18 or older consume caffeine on a daily basis, and 70% of the caffeine consumed is in the form of coffee. Today, I would like to talk a little about caffeine. We will start by sipping on some facts about how caffeine can have negative effects if consumed in high quantities. Then, I will pour you all some knowledge about how caffeine can be beneficial to you. And finally, I will top it all off by looking at what are considered safe levels of caffeine consumption. First, let's sip on some facts. As long as you are able to regulate the amount of caffeine you consume on a daily basis, there appears to be very little in the way of negative effects. The problem with caffeine comes when excessive amounts are consumed. For example, there are energy drinks on the market today that contain more than 350 milligrams of caffeine. Statistics show just drinking 2 of these can begin to make the body purge calcium and magnesium. The removal of these nutrients can cause huge health side effects and may even be responsible for nerve damage. The average person only consumes about 100 milligrams of caffeine per day, so these risks aren't at play. It's when massive amounts are consumed that a person's health is at risk. Too much caffeine consumption can also lead to sleep deprivation and the tendency to ignore the normal warning signs that the body is tired and needs rest. Next, I would like to pour you all some knowledge on how caffeine can be beneficial if consumed in moderation. A study in Germany shows that caffeine helps increase heart muscle cell function and can even prolong the life of heart muscle cells. In Japan, researchers found that caffeine increased memory, and a newer study at a Johns Hopkins University showed that a 200 milligram caffeine pill helped boost memory consolidation. And in a larger study conducted out of Italy of more than 217,000 people, those that consumed caffeine from any source had less kidney stone formation than those that did not consume any caffeine. Finally, I would like to top all this off by looking at what are considered safe levels of caffeine consumption. According to the Mayo Clinic, up to 400 milligrams of caffeine daily appears to be a safe amount for most healthy adults. And although it is healthy for adults to consume caffeine, it is not a good idea for children, and adolescents should limit their caffeine consumption. Also, the March of Dimes states that pregnant women should limit their caffeine intake to less than 200 milligrams per day. That is equal to about 1 12-ounce cup of coffee. In conclusion, caffeine is and will most likely always be a big part of our society. And although there can be some serious negative side effects from caffeine, it can also be beneficial if consumed responsibly. In fact, in 2017, the British Medical Journal published a study reviewing 201 other studies about coffee and caffeine. The researchers concluded that the health benefits outweigh any risk involved. I would also like to note that each person is different than the next. So in turn, each person will handle caffeine differently. With that said, I would like to finish with a quote, one of my favorite quotes, involving caffeine by author Robin Snyder. I don't see a point in caffeine without coffee, or coffee without caffeine for that matter.